And then I think I'm supposed to be saying this, but please like, subscribe, and give us a
And
5-star
share.
rating and share.
Like,
All the
subscribe, and
things.
share. Tell all your friends that there's a podcast where two people, there's people listening to anything. Just do it. Hi, Mom.
Hi, honey. I have lots of stuff happening. I can't wait to talk to you about. I have, first and foremost, I'm trying to get a new microphone. So I sound like the people that I love on podcasts that have these really great voices.
Yeah.
But now I don't know what to do with this big giant microphone.
Well, we gotta put your camera up somewhere higher, I think.
It's just my iPad camera, so yeah, I'm gonna work on the technology, honey. I'm gonna work on the technology, but I hope it sounds amazing. Does it sound amazing?
It sounds good. Hopefully mine sounds. I'm using my new microphone. It's an iPhone microphone.
It sounds pretty good. Now, see here, I'm coming in with the high quality today, and you're coming in with the. Clearly, I'm not at my apartment, and I'm just trying to record this stuff right now.
Well, do you want to explain why?
All right, listeners, we have had some scheduling faux pas. I feel like you should start. We got in a little tiff on Saturday.
Well, somebody was like, let's do the podcast at 1 p.m. on Saturday. And so I was like, okay. I canceled some stuff. And then somebody at 11 was like, I just landed. I woke up at 4 a.m. I need to take a nap. And then proceeded to not text or call me again until 30 minutes before I had to go to work.
And a couple of things happened. Number one, you were very angry, but I felt like you communicated your anger to me in a really productive way.
I wouldn't say I was
so
angry.
Good about that.
I was frustrated. I was just more like frustrated and annoyed because I was like, and for some more backstory, somebody, I won't say who,
was getting on you about not showing up at scheduled times.
Was saying I'm procrastinating and need to be more organized, despite the fact that started most of this. It's like my idea, but whatever.
Okay, but the full story is I appreciated how you communicated your anger to me. I thought it was super productive.
Good.
And here's a newsflash to people who might be listening. Sometimes parents are wrong. Yeah. I was in the wrong and I made a mistake and I had to just apologize and I just had to take it and be like, you're right. I messed up and I'm sorry. But I thought we communicated all that very well. Would you agree to that?
I think we did a good job.
We did a good job with the fight. We got the fight.
But then we had a delightful, it wasn't a fight. I think it was just a conversation. That's the thing I want. You're making it sound like I was like, oh. We just had a disagreement because I was frustrated because you kept rescheduling.
Right.
But then I was happy we had a good talk about it. And then today,
again, I have screwed up because we are trying to get a set time to record the podcast because I have an insane schedule and yours is a little all over. And I blew it again today. So here's the good news. We are getting this episode recorded and I have some really big topics I want to talk about. So good. Can we say that, yes, we had an disagreement, but I'm proud of how we communicated it. We're back on the same page. And this week's episode, I really want to get into because something happened to me over the weekend that I've been dying to talk to you about.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's go.
So I am doing college football. Excuse me. I'm doing college football this week. So excited. I have Notre Dame at Texas A&M on Saturday. And so I flew to Notre Dame this week to go to practice and spend 2 days on campus. It was just incredible. Got to spend a lot of good quality time with Marcus Freeman, their coach, and everything. But something happened while I was on campus. It was move-in day for Notre Dame. And move-in day means like all the parents are there and they're moving their kids into college. And as I was leaving that night, it was a Friday night, on campus, I see like they have this tradition where they have, a whole dorm will be in a matching t-shirt and they go out onto the football field and the entire incoming freshman class for Notre Dame takes a photograph that's like, here's our incoming freshman class. And I think a lot of colleges do that.
Mm-hmm.
But as these 100 women were walking for their dorm to the football stadium to take the picture, there were probably 50 sets of parents following them.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this visceral reaction that was like, come on, parents, drop your kids off at college and leave them alone. And so I wanted to get into with you, like what our drop-off experience was and what you think is healthy for parents, because a lot of parents are going to be dropping their kids off this weekend.
Oh yeah, that's true. I don't know. It's different. I was just watching some movie about like high school, and I was just kind of thinking about like the high school experience. And I'm like, it's so much, even though it's only, what is that, 10, I think it's 11 years ago for me. It's night and day. Like it's so completely different. And so like when it comes to, I mean, maybe these kids want their parents there. Maybe their parents are required to be there.
I will say I researched it later because I was so annoyed by it. I shouldn't say annoyed. I was concerned that these parents were too clingy. I did research it later. Notre Dame does a bunch of activities for parents. And so I think on the one hand, maybe the university is encouraging the parents to stay and do activities. And some of that could be selfish. Like the colleges are like, we want these parents to get emotionally invested in Notre Dame, and then we're going to have them donate money down the road or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm assuming it's like they probably, I mean, it can't all just be students that are just like first time. Like, I feel like a lot of people go to a college that your parents went to, or like, I feel like there's a mix of that kind of stuff going on too. So, I mean, I wouldn't be annoyed with them. Maybe parents are weird, kids are weird, everybody's gotten weird.
But so let's go back to our story, because I remember being very upset when I drove home from dropping you off to college. But I'd love to talk about it because I think it was, as I look back on it, I think it was the healthiest option.
Well, we were in two very different mental headspaces about my drop off. I was in the
Tell your version.
Well, I was just like, you were making it a big deal and kind of being a little, what felt like overbearing. But to me, I was like, we spend so much time separate already. So like, this isn't like some big new step. This is just like an evolution of what we kind of already do, because you leave for every week or whatever. So I was kind of like, why is she being so like, because it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal to me.
And to me, I'm a single mom and you're my only child. And this is the signal that you're leaving home. And I felt like someone had reached into my chest. I'm going to cry right now talking about it. I felt like someone had reached into my chest and pulled my soul and heart out. That's what it felt like to your mother.
See, that's interesting. I mean, yeah. No, I was just looking at it as like purely logistical. I was like, you're gone all the time, anyways. So, like, it doesn't change much.
Yeah, so I remember dropping you off. Like I gave you a car. We loaded up your car, and then I followed you up there with my sister, Aunt Robin, who's very close to you. And I guess in my mind, I thought we were going to like help you move in and help you put your dorm room together, because I had done that with her daughter, Rachel, when she went to college. And we got to your dorm, we pull up, and you could literally not get us out of there fast enough. You're like, I'm good. And we're like, can we help you carry some stuff in? And you're like, no, I'm good. And we literally must have been, yes, it is.
Oh my God. No, it's not. You guys, you guys dropped me off. We took stuff in, and then we also went to Walmart and got more stuff. It wasn't, this hyperbolizing of this is ridiculous. Okay. Get your crap togetit.
What it felt like to me is that I dropped you off at college, and instead of like helping you set up your room and making it, I guess some of it's nesting for a mom is making it feel like you have a new safe space, and I've made sure that you're safe and you're organized for this next chapter of your life. So some of it is very symbolic and psychological for me. But it sounds like you didn't need any of that. You didn't want any of that. So what should parents be
We
doing when
no,
they
because
drop their
we
kids
did
off?
some of that. That's what's annoying. I knew that I was being a dick during it. I was not exactly the nicest, but like this newfangled story that you've decided to tell the people of America, this refurbished retelling.
Okay, but can we process? Do you remember what you were feeling at the time? Like, why were you being a dick? Because you were being, I have put it down to separation. Like, we're separating, and this is the quickest, easiest way to just cut the
No, it
cord.
was no, I was getting annoyed because it like we at that point in our relationship had spent a decent amount of time apart. Like it wasn't in my mind, it wasn't like this huge step because like during especially in high school, I was very, very independent and you were working a ton.
Right.
Because you started getting onto a bunch of different gigs and stuff. And
But
like
you were
we would
living at my house. We're living together. We still see each
yeah, but
other
we would
daily
see
when we're
each other.
together.
No, yeah, we would see each other maybe once or twice a week.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's
Anyways,
why I didn't feel like it was a huge step in that sense because I was like, well, because during football season and during school, we were pretty separate. So like it didn't seem like that big of a deal. And so I was getting annoyed by it.
yeah.
And then, we're putting my stuff in the room and you're like, well, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do this. And it was just a little bit on like this lie that you've constructed of that
Too
you dropped
much.
me off and left. We walked in. You told me where we should put everything. You had ideas about how we should put everything in, and then we decided we needed to go get a bunch of stuff from Walmart because we didn't have enough stuff. So we did a Walmart run, and you were telling me what kind of stuff you wanted to buy from Walmart for me. And so this construct of me being I was being rude because I felt a little bit like confused and it was overbearing, and I'm also starting a new thing, you know.
That you don't want your mom involved with. Yeah, I think
Well,
it's
not no, not
interesting.
that. That's another not what my mom involved with. It's my own thing. You're
It's
not
your life.
involved.
Yeah.
It's my college experience.
Well, I will just say this. It's like a he said, she said, because you're experiencing it one way, I'm experiencing another way, and we're both caught up in our own emotions in our own head. But
Mm-hmm.
I do remember driving back home with Robin, and I was just crying the whole time. Now, some of that is because I'm kind of devastated that, like it's just been us. We're Team Rowe. It's just been us. And so I think that was a harder transition for me than I was processing, because there were parts of your childhood I'd be like, I can't wait till he goes to college. I'm going to have freedom. And I do think some parents think that, even as much as we love our children, it's more like the freedom.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality for me was when you did go away to college, I went into a deep depression for a long time and felt like my heart and soul had been ripped out. Gaping void in my chest. Not to be too dramatic.
Mm. I was very busy during college. I was in student government, so I didn't have that problem.
And you did a great job. You hit the ground running. You had lots of activities. You had several scholarships. I was proud of how you did college. I thought you did a great job being involved with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
The funny ending to this, and then I'll move on, is you came home like 2 weeks later because it was Labor Day, or I always forget which one's in September. Labor Day?
I think it's Labor Day. Yeah.
Yeah. So you came home not even 2 weeks later, and we sat down. We went to brunch at Eggs in the City in Salt Lake. I remember this vividly. And you were like, man, mom, I need to really thank you because a lot of my roommates and people I live with have never left Utah. And I'm realizing that I've had this really cool, unique, incredible experience as a kid. And I'm really grateful for it. And I just wanted to say thank you. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
You do not remember that. That
No,
look
I
on
don't
your
remember
face
that at
was like,
all.
I don't know what she's talking about.
I feel like this is another made up memory. I do appreciate that though. I went to a school with a lot of kids who were like from small towns and stuff. Um, because it was kind of like a weird little area where that school was. So I definitely like was a little bit more well traveled than some kids, I would say, for just
Mm-hmm.
because various reasons, and it was essentially a community college. So like it's not really like a lot of money is going into it. So it's like people who are trying to save money or whatever kind of reason. And so that it was just interesting to see like what that kind of does to some of the people that I was meeting. just,
their first experience away from home or meeting people who are not exactly like them. What would you tell to our listeners? Like, I did want your feedback on this because I personally feel like parents have become, not everybody, but I do see a lot of this. They have been so involved in their kids' lives that they are living vicariously through their kids, and it's hard for them to let go. What do you think is a healthy way to go drop your child off of college? What would you now say looking back?
I don't know. Just make sure like to talk down, like make sure everybody's on the right page about how everybody's feeling about stuff. Maybe record it so it can't be used against you on a podcast years later. Just have, just paranormal activity, just put a camera in the back of the car just so you can keep an eye. No, but it just depends on like what the relationship is, because I feel like there's some kids that are going off to college and like they are chronically online, and so like it might be a little bit of a scary experience for them. Or there's some kids that are like they've got 10 million followers on Instagram and they can do whatever the hell they want, and they're crushing it. Like, or there's the athletes, or there's all these different avenues. So I think it's not about you is the biggest thing, parents. I know that you're going through something, but they're the ones experiencing stuff for the first time. You already did it. So just
let your
helpful.
kids go and do it. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if I could give advice, things I've done wrong or just things that I think would work better, I guess my advice would be communicate your expectations. So like if I would have communicated like, hey, this is hard for you to leave. And I know it's not about me, but I'd love to come help you set up your room. Is that okay? And you could say, I love that you love that, but it's okay. I've got it, Mom. I would be okay if you just come and drop me off and say goodbye. Like, it's okay. We don't need to make it a big thing. It's like, just kind of set the expectation up front.
Yeah.
And then I do think it would be important to empower kids for you to set boundaries for your parents sometimes. Like, I think parents are way too up in their kids' lives. And I think it's healthy for them to set a boundary that's like, hey, I've got this. I'll check in with you. And then, one other thing. This was going to be one of my chaos theories, but can we talk about it? Tips for keeping in touch. One thing that I had a roommate in college that did this, and I kind of would try to make us do it. We never quite executed it right, but once a week, they had a once a week check-in. My friend once a week on a Wednesday night or on Sunday night would have a 30-minute call with her parents, and that was their check-in. So I thought it was super healthy because then the parents weren't trying to get a hold of the kids all week, and they were kind of giving them their space to acclimate their new area. But the parents who might be home kind of craving to hear from their kids and hear what's going on, then the parents knew that they had that call coming up, so it would lessen some of their anxiety. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Just set up like on Sunday nights we have a call. Yeah, I think that's smart. I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then did you have any other topics for today? Because I have one more very important topic I wanted to hit you on.
Oh, let's see.
I've got my Post-its written. Do you have your Post-its written?
I did, but I don't love any of them.
Okay, I love this one. Can we go with this one? Because I really want to get into it.
Yeah.
Read it.
Why would Harry Potter be canceled?
Is Harry Potter canceled? So our friend Brianna Stewart, she's doing a new collaboration with Puma, these new Harry Potter shoes, and they're so cool. She loves Harry Potter. She's got a wand tattooed on her finger.
Do they make those in a men's size? I'm just asking.
We need to see. But anyway, so I posted it on social media, and I kind of vaguely knew that J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, has been in the news, but kind of for years
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like she's been in the news for years on various controversial topics, but I've never paid it much attention because I don't really care about her. I just like the books Harry Potter. So can you support this book, and can we still be Harry Potter fans if the author is espousing things that we don't believe in?
I say it doesn't matter. Like, there's nothing in her rhetoric in the books that is anti anybody. So I think that can be fine. Like,
right. It's not like her beliefs that she's espousing right. Yeah, it's interesting. So do you remember when you were little, we had some hard conversations when you were little about Chris Brown. Remember when Chris Brown and Rihanna got into an alleged fight? And you and I had a long conversation about abuse against women and how you treat women. And we decided in our home to ban Chris Brown for a while.
Yeah.
And then it was really hard to keep banning him because I love him so much.
His music is good. He's very sexy. I think honestly, when it comes to nobody's all good and nobody's all bad. I think this idea of like canceling people or like you don't listen to somebody's work because of A, B, and C. Some people who you think are all great are like could be just terrible. You know what I mean? Not to say that they are, but like that doesn't mean.
But I agree. Like to your point, nobody's all good, nobody's all bad, and so I feel like if you will only accept perfect people, you'll have a very short list of friends and associates.
And if we don't like things that have a bad like that are we liked it when it was created, but the creators were bad people. We can't like America. Most food we can't really enjoy because whoever came up with like getting milk from a cow, that's a weirdo. Like there's all kinds of stuff that it's like the art and the artist is always going to be tough because it is kind of an expression of their thoughts. But I mean, if it's not, I think it's just childish to be so like, oh, but is it good? Is it bad? Like she made a book and she's a billionaire now. I don't care what she has to say. I mean, I feel bad for that boxer. Because her and
the Olympic
Elon Musk
boxer
really got
that
it.
she kind of bullied, and I didn't see her tweet, so I really don't even know what she said. But I just will say this: we are very pro-trans in our family. We have a trans member of our family, and we have seen the angst and difficulties that our beloved family member has gone through. So we want all of the rights and protections for trans people because it is a very hard life, and we want to be loving and kind and supportive. And so people who can't understand that, maybe you've never met somebody who's trans, and I would just say, meet somebody and have some conversations with them about their lives, because this is like this push button topic and issue right now. And everybody that seems to speak out on it, I just really want to say, do you know anyone trans? Have you ever talked to them about how challenging their life can be? And maybe we should all just have a little love and compassion in our hearts.
She's been outside of the real world she made those books made billions of dollars, right? So she's not a real like I feel like once you become a billionaire, you're kind of not a real person. So your opinion about stuff
you're isolated from like society in some respects.
Yeah, because you're not like I don't think you really need to be commenting. You can't really thoughtfully comment. I mean, I know everybody should be able to comment on whatever they want to, but like you can't really thoughtfully comment on like what's going on with people. Like it's the gallon of milk thing that they make billionaires. They're like that joke they have where it's like, can you actually name how much a gallon of milk is, or are you just that out of touch with reality? If you're out of touch with reality, you shouldn't have a bunch of hard thoughts on trans people. You don't. When's the last time you cooked yourself like a full meal from groceries that you went out and bought?
Do you actually know how much a gallon of milk is right now?
I don't, because I'm lactose intolerant. That's an interesting problem.
So you don't buy a gallon of milk. I was going to say, like, I don't know how much a gallon of milk is either. I do know how much a gallon of almond milk is. I think it's about $4.49.
Okay, that's pretty good. I know how much a thing of Spam costs because I bought that the other day.
It's like Spam?
It's like $6.29. It's expensive. Yeah, Spam's good.
Huh.
You do
strike you as a Spam eater. That's interesting.
Spam and rice. Yeah, it's delicious.
It's delicious.
There's a lot of people from like the Pacific Islands in Utah, and I've spent a lot of time with people from the Pacific Islands. I've been people say I look like one. It's great.
Polynesian.
I look Polynesian, but that was a big thing that my buddy Yeti, shout out to Yeti, he's the man. He taught me that was one of like the meals that we would always have in college. Funny, you know.
Oh. All right, honey. Anything else you wanted to hit? Any other topics? We've told you how you should drop your kids off at college, how to communicate. Harry Potter. Anything else we got? Anything else?
Take care of yourselves. Shout out to I've been working out. Have you been working out? Have you been doing Friends?
Yes. I've been working out. I'm trying to get in shape for college football season because, like any given college football game, I do about 6 miles around the sideline. And so I always am like trying to walk. I've been doing a lot of hill walking, trying to make sure I've got my good endurance for college football season.
Good. Yeah. So
what have you been doing? Your buddy Fran's been helping you, right?
Yeah. And I mean, he sent you, we might need to get a new one, but Yeah, my buddy, just follow Fran Kalinsky for anybody who's interested. He's the guy that kind of getting me into shape. He's getting you into shape. So we're just getting.
We're
I
on a
think we're a little late.
family
We're
physicality journey. What am I saying?
yeah. I'm trying to get down like 30 pounds, I think.
Me too.
Yeah, because
Should
like
we
that's.
have a family weight loss challenge?
I mean, if you're trying to lose,
Oh, come on. Who
yeah,
can lose 30 pounds first?
I can actually schedule and show up to podcast tapings. I don't know.
Okay, let's start small. Let's see if we can show up at our regularly scheduled time next week, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah,
Baby steps.
We'll do a weight loss challenge. We'll come up with it. This is what we'll do. Next Tuesday, we'll reveal our weight loss challenge.
Oh, I like that.
We'll come up with what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Let me write that down.
All right, honey. Well, I love you. I'm glad you're not scarred from your college drop-off experience. I do think it's funny that we both remember it so differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember being gutted and crying all the way home, but hey.
I was busy because I had to run all the stuff for the welcoming.
And I think the thing you said that struck me the most is parents need to remember that experience is not about you. And that's hard to remember.
You might be sad, but like you've had 18 years, and I bet you
fly,
wanted them
little
out of the
bird,
house.
fly. I'm sending you out of the nest. Fly.
And you wanted to go to college. You remember those feelings. So just get off your high horse and just listen to them. Just be like J.K. Rowling.
Let the kids be in charge.
Just shut up and let them do their thing.
And maybe drop them off and go home.
Yeah, go home. Go open a glass of wine, watch a show,
Yeah.
Or if you don't drink.
It's easier said than done because you're probably sitting at home crying like I was, but yes.
That's what the glass of wine's for.
Good luck, everybody. We don't have all the answers, but good luck dropping your kids off. I know this is kind of a gut-wrenching time of year. I know we're having some fun with it, but if anybody needs to, call in and talk to us and tweet at us.
Yeah,
do we have Twitter? Can people tweet at us? I can't remember.
We didn't do a Twitter, but we have
Instagram, right?
Yeah, we have an Instagram at Call Your Mom Podcast.
Call Your Mom Podcast. All right. Tell us how your drop-off experience went, or if you have some ideas.
Oh yeah, if you got chaos theories, we need more chaos theories. I'm behind.
Yeah, if they have chaos theories, that's also a good idea. And then I think I'm supposed to be saying this, but please like, subscribe, and give us a 5-star rating and share.
Like, subscribe, and share. Tell all your friends that there's a podcast where there's people listening to anything. Just do it.
All right, honey. I love you. Have a wonderful week.
All right, I love you, Mom.
Mwah.
Beautiful.
Very nice.